This is Black Mamba. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is a beautiful day here in Georgia. Thanks for joining us. If you are just joining this channel, we do a little bit of everything. We do DIY, we do pinball, we do machining, we do automotive, and today it's this. And I'm going to answer some of the questions you guys have. Now you may be wondering, what is this thing? Why do I have it? And what the world are you going to do with it? We're going to answer that now. Well, this is a lawnmower, but not the kind to cut your grass with. No, not for that. It is built for pulling a sled, and no, not like a, one in the wintertime. No, this is built for pulling a weight sled. My dad's best friend, he was the genius behind this entire build you see here. Built in his garage, and there is some amazing engineering that goes into this thing. When you hear this thing fire up, it is amazing. It is an awesome sounding machine because it takes a lawnmower and puts a badass into it, if you know what I mean. It is not a lawnmower by any means, but it is a true masterpiece and work of art. Now, unfortunately, 12 years ago, he passed away, and he was in the middle of this project when he passed. Now, he had everything pretty much you see here completely done, but he never got to take this thing to the track and actually pull a sled with it to see how it actually pulled. He did a ton of testing at his house, actually hooking it to a tree, and he never could get it to pull how he wanted to on the tree, so he never got to the track. If I remember right, this is a 2 Cub Cadet frames that's been put together, stretched, along with the hood, and just, I wish you could see, like, this hood tapers in towards the back. He built this thing, and this is, I know for a fact, 2 hoods put together, and it is so seamless. Honestly, I have so much to learn on this thing because, well, unfortunately, when he was building this thing, I was in college at the time, and so I didn't really get to see the build process of this. I only got to hear the stories about it with him building it in the shop, and I got to hear it crank, but aside from that, this thing is completely going to be fun to try to figure out. I believe he's done it all in methanol, and this is an actual Onan generator motor. I do know it was an Onan generator motor, and for those of you that are interested in legend cars and bandoleros, this black part here, the bell housing, is actually part of my bandolero wheel back when I raced. So for the past 12 years, this has been stored in my parents' basement. And with the building of the barn dominium and getting this thing finished up, we had to move a bunch of stuff. And this was one of the things. And I feel like the time has not been right until now. And now it is time to get this thing back up and running, get it cleaned up. And, well, let's see what issues we have with it. And maybe I can recreate some of the issues he had and hopefully get this thing back to a pulling meet and just see how it does. I have never pulled anything in my life. I have never once thought about it other than hearing him talk about it. Boy, it is going to be some big shoes to try to figure out because he was an absolute genius when it comes to this type of stuff. And there is so much oddball stuff that has been done with this thing that I know he was trying and figuring out that, man, it's going to be tough. So if anybody's got any suggestions on trying to exactly figure out this whole thing, I am up and all ears for it because I do know that this is an Onan motor. But aside from it being an Onan motor, I really don't know much about it. I know he made this complete custom bell housing, and I mean everything on this thing is custom for the most part. It is a true beauty, and it's time to get this thing restored, and it's only going to hit the track once is the plan. I feel like this thing needs to hit the track at least once. I'm not saying I want to run this thing and pull it a bunch, but I do feel like the goal is to get this thing back up, running properly. Let's figure out what the issue he had with it was by, well, hooking to a tree. We got tons of them here. See if we can get this thing to dig, see if I can figure out what he was having the issue with, and yeah, see if we get this thing back going and hit the track at least once. But then I think from then on, mainly want to keep it for you know, doing parades and showing this thing off, because it really is a true piece of work that he did, and be a good memory for him. It's just, I know it's been 12 years, but the time has never been right until now. Now is the time to get this thing back up and going. Well, it's going to wrap it up for this one. Stay tuned for the next one.